you
Yeah,
find
so
it?
this was just on the open market. It was on the open market, and the reason I got it was because it was on the open market. So other people saw it before me. I wasn't like first in the door on this. And normally I try to get first in the door. I wasn't first in the door on this one, and I found out about it, contacted the agent, and the reason none of the other HMO developers did anything with it was that it had a restriction on title for HMOs. Basically says that you can't do HMOs on the building.
Okay, so how do you overcome that? Because at that point, that is the point, as you rightly say, that's the point at which most people have bailed.
Yeah, so
said,
most people have gone by
right.
that point. In fact, I even spoke to some people who said, no, I saw a building, great building, we can't do HMOs. So all I did, and it really wasn't that complex, all I did is I contacted my solicitor to say, look, there's a restriction on this building that says you can't do HMOs. Can you contact the company behind the restriction and find out if A, are they active, or B, are they closed? Because if they're years ago and closed, you don't have to worry about it. And if they're active, can you find out if we can negotiate with them? And sure enough, they were active. And we contacted them, went back and forth. They wanted £40,000 or something, or maybe £50,000 to lift this restriction. I was like, well, that's not going to work for me. And in the end, what we actually did is we negotiated that down. We actually ended up negotiating down to £25,000, where they wanted it higher. But I was like, well, look, if I don't buy it and an owner-occupied buys this, you get zero. So this is only one opportunity you've got for making some money here. So what we did is we negotiated £25,000, full removal of all of those. And at the same time, any other things that I wanted to do against any other clauses in there, do what you want.
And that's the freeholder of the building, was it?
Well, this is for a freehold. So I bought the freehold, but sometimes freeholds still have a bit of a restriction on the title. So this was like a restriction on the title that goes up to, like the kind of estate of so-and-so. So you have to look at these restrictions on title. I've only ever had one company that's ever been active, which is this on this property. So we contacted them, we negotiated 25,000. And so on the purchase price, that includes the 25,000 that I paid to get that title restriction lifted.
Okay, and that's an important distinction as well, because it forms part of the purchase price, and therefore you can raise finance against it rather than it being an additional 25 grand you've got to come up with.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I snuck in there was this other little, like I say, normally there isn't restrictions on title on most properties. And if they are, they're so dormant companies that it doesn't matter. But in this instance, they weren't dormant. But it was solvable.
Learn what's working in today's property market. Get started for free at ypn.plus.